crazy Tuesdays, nights out especially. Once a month on a Tuesday, me and this lad I used to work with, I was a police sergeant with him in the Met in central London. We used to plan a night out away from our wives. Now, his wife was okay about him going out. Mine wasn't. The reason we used to go on a Tuesday is because there was a club called Hombres. For those of you who were around in the late 80s and 90s remember it, it was off Oxford Street. And at the time, London prices were quite high for drinks, as they still are, in comparison to other areas. It was 50 pence a drink, all night. I think it was a 999 type do. I can't remember exactly what it was, but every month we used to go. So my wife wasn't particularly happy about me going out, so I had to do a bit of a sneak. I had to take a night off during the, like a night duty week, but days on you were leaving. And I used to have some civilian clothes in the station, so we used to meet up about 7 or 8 o'clock in the West End. And then we used to have a few drinks in the local bars and then go to the police club for a little one, or two, or three, or four, until 11 o'clock. And then we'd hit this bar Hombres, which always packed because of the price of it, I suppose, and it would just become a popular venue for all sorts of carry on, you can imagine. We were only in our 20s, a bit crazy at the time. But the amount we used to consume was incredible. He had a little bit less than me, I think, but I could drink masses at that time, and I must have been maybe thinking 20, 25 pints of drinks, at least in one night. And it's no wonder I got issues when I was older. It was one of these things where I would just start drinking. I used to get so excited about being out, being free, and then I used to get the taste of alcohol. I had this euphoria when I was younger. I used to think I was always chasing the next drink, you know. Anyway, this night we went out, met these two women, and I don't know what happened to him. He just disappeared. You know, it's like in a club where you had a few drinks and it's all a bit crazy. I ended up in this, going home with these two women who had a pub, were so drunk. It was incredible. And they owned this pub. I didn't know where it was, but I recall being in a taxi and not looking that clever in an area, because I worked in the West End, but the parts of London I didn't know very well. So I thought, well, by the time you've had a few drinks, you don't really care where you're going as long as you're going to go for another drink. You know, they own this pub, then it'll be, at least I get another drink. I'm just searching for the next drink, next drink. So I knew it was day off the next day, I had a couple of days off. So I always timed it right. And at this pub, and it was all in darkness, obviously, but the only lights you could see was the pump lights, you know, and the optics. Went in there with them two. It was obviously locked because it was closed, but they were owners. A couple of colourful characters, as you can imagine. It was a bit of a mixed area, shall we say, if that makes sense. So I got in there and drank all night, and I eventually fell asleep about 5 o'clock in the morning, I think it was. 6 o'clock maybe 7. I was woken up a little bit later by a cleaner who let herself in the pub. I wasn't that happy to see me. I don't know where the women had gone. I was going to bed, but I'm just lying there, like with a suit on, looking dishevelled, unshaven, stinking of booze, in a mess. I am surrounded by empty beer bottles, glasses and all this sort of thing. She wasn't very happy. Had a bit of a go at me, and then eventually she was quite suspicious about me, but I showed her my warrant card when she got out. And I walked out and I felt so ill. I think it's one of the most ill times I've ever felt. I didn't know where I was completely disorientated. So eventually I saw a name plate on one of the street signs. And it was Stepney Green, it was, or something. It was a bit of a tasty area for crime at the time. I didn't think much of it, so anyway, it was so rough. I managed to find an early morning booze or somewhere. I think it went down to Borough Market or somewhere. So I drank again, and then I drank all day, and it took me ages to get over this massive hangover. I wasn't really a binge drinker until that point. Then I started to find this particular Tuesday, I was getting really, really hammered with the booze. But the point of it being that I was drinking so much then, and then spent so much time recovering, I didn't realise I had a massive problem until I spoke to other people who didn't do what I did. A lot of us did drink too much, you know. But that area, I found out later, there's particularly that pub that I'd been in. I can't remember the name of it now. It was frequented by some big time villains when it was open. And I look back, you know, the danger maybe I put myself in. But you don't care about that when you're 3 sheets to the wind and you're drinking. And you're drinking large quantities and it becomes your life, and you have this feeling of you're being indestructible. I don't know if you've ever had that before. I can do this, I can do that. And this arrogance comes along with alcohol. I never got into any bother, as in fist fighting or drink driving, or anything like that. I never came to any blows with anybody, but I was pretty much on the edge, and that's not my character, you know. I'm quite a placid sort of guy. Although I'm outgoing and sociable, I'd never start an argument, but when I think back, I was maybe a little bit aggressive in those days, a little bit too sharp with people. And, you know, had anything happened in that pub, had there been anybody there of maybe the different side of the law to me, God knows what would have happened. And you've got to be mindful of this when you're drinking. You do put yourself in danger, you do put yourself at risk, because, especially women as well, you know, there's a lot of women drink. In fact, women's liver disease deaths have risen massively, 37% in 5 years, which is a huge increase, isn't it? You know, the women have put themselves in danger of sexual assault, rape, all this sort of thing, being mugged and whatnot. I mean, I'm 6'3", nobody's going to mug me. But you never know if you're really, really out of your head. And we take risks, don't we, when we're drinking? With relationships, with money, with drink driving, with thinking you're the big man when you're not. So as you get a bit older, I know guys in their late 50s and 60s who still fight with people, which is just ridiculous, isn't it? When they've had too much to drink. You know, the usual, who you look at that type carry on. It's a bit low level for me. I don't get involved in that, but you do see it. You do see it in the high streets, don't you? Every Friday, every Saturday. You see the football matches all the time. You know, the aggressiveness, a lot of crime comes from alcohol. And that's why I call it, you know, a crazy, crazy Saturday night. Anyway, if you enjoy the videos, then please subscribe. And please share them with anybody who you think may be struggling with alcohol, because it is a big killer and it has to be addressed. It's one of these things where there's so many of us around, and the NHS wards are absolutely busting with patients. It's hard to get a detox. Sometimes you just got to try and cut down yourself, taper off, take advice of your doctor, speak to people like myself or others who've had issues, and keep a good fight up. And particularly at this time of year, try not to relapse, especially if you've been off for a little while, because it's a time where a lot of people will relapse. As I say, subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss any videos, and engage in conversation on here. There's a big group of people on here now, with a lot of experience, and people, you know, we're all here to help each other. That's the main message. We're here to help, and if you get any problems, get in touch.